later, myself and my colleagues will be making a presentation on databases and data warehouses. So I'll be taking the nature of information resources and also the qualities of information. Thank you.
And I'll be taking the rise and fall of data and file processing systems and also database and database management software. Thank you.
I'll be taking retrieving information, managing the database and database warehouses and big data.
Hello, my name is Omisaya Zainab. I'll be talking about big data and data warehouses and how human elements interact with management information system.
Hello everyone, my name is Obere Emmanuel. I'll be here to discuss and give you a brief topic on database architecture and relations.
In the nature of information resources. Now, we have four sources of information: structured information, unstructured information, and semi-structured information, and metadata. So I'll be explaining these types of information. Now, what are structured information? These are facts and data that are easily ordered and that can be broken down into component parts and organized into hierarchies. Then unstructured information, these are information that has no inherent structure or order, and the parts can be easily linked together. But when we talk about semi-structured information category that falls between structured and unstructured information. They are metadata. What are metadata? These are data about data that clarifies the nature of the information. Then also, I'm talking about the quality of information. And what are the quality of information? We have accuracy, and also precision, and also completeness and consistency. Then timeliness and bias and duplication. Then also, I'll also be talking about managing information. And how do you manage information? I'll be explaining some terminologies about managing information. These are tables. What are tables? Tables are just a group of records for the sense of quantity, then such as employees, then also record. It means to represent an entity, which might be a person, a product, or a purchase order. Then also I'm talking about field. What's a field? A field is an attribute of an entity.
Now, file processing systems basically is a way of storing, retrieving, and manipulating data that is actually present in various files in the computer. Now when we talk about the rise and fall of file processing systems, now in the past there were very many issues with file processing system, because for instance you have to know the hierarchy of files before you can be able to access them. You also know that data will be inconsistent because there are various places you can actually store data in your computer. And there's also there's also a slow access time, because when you want to get a particular file, you have to look for it, know the hierarchy. This file is situated in this category or folder before you be able to know the particular file you want to retrieve. So there's actually slow access time, and that's why databases is actually winning over file processing systems. So now, given all these disadvantages of file processing system, that's why today we actually prefer database management software, in place of file processing systems, and
I'm here to talk about database architecture. Before I go in, architecture can be defined as a body or framework, you understand? It's like a blueprint. So in database, you understand, to be most useful, you understand, in terms of its efficiency, a database model must handle three types of relationship with a minimum of redundancy. And the three types of relationship we have are number one, the one-to-one relationship, one-to-many, and many-to-many. The one-to-one relationship is relatively easy to accommodate and even queue processing time, you understand, because it has only one-to-one best source of data. Why the one-to-many relationship is between record that is one and record that are many. So sometimes it proves to be challenging. Why, like for example, a person might have one or more employees, but the person in charge is relating to the other employees. Why lastly, we have the many-to-many relationship, which is very complicated because of the amount of support on both ends. The many relationship needs to have a lot of supporting end to handle the amount of processing power from the other end, you understand? So I'll be going into a subtopic called developing and managing a relational database. The database is the center of information in every repository. It is also a mission critical access in any business enterprise. Understand? But before I go in, I have to let you know some few keywords. We have a data model. Before I go into a data model, a model is what is used for planning in an organization, you understand? It might be a framework, a graph or something that brings a relationship into existence, basically into life, you understand? So there are a lot of database that identify what kind of information is needed, what it is created, and so on and so forth. So you understand me? The other keyword that we're going to go in is what the primary key. A primary key is a field or a group of fields that makes each record what's unique in a table, in your table of what models. Understand me? We also have our auto numbering, a process that what assigns what numbers in our model to records, so that records are created and what's kept in a unique way in the primary key aforementioned. And we have our normalization, a process that refines all activities and their relationship to help minimize the duplication of information and tables. Then lastly, we have our functionally dependent key. For each value in the table, the primary key, there should be just one value for each attribute in the record. The primary key should always determine the value, the attributes that are functionally dependent on the value of the primary key. With that, I'm done with my scheduled topic, and do have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Hello, I'll be taking retrieving information and managing the database. Under retrieving information, we have structured query language, also known as SQL. It's a standard language widely used to manipulate information in relational databases. Number two, we have interactive voice response, also known as IVR. It's a technology that facilitates access to the database from signals transmitted by telephone to retrieve information and enter data. In the database, we have performance tuning and scalability, we have integrity, security, and recovery, we have documentation. Performance tuning and scalability, the database needs tuning for optimal performance, and the tuning process takes into account the way the end users and use the data. Scalability refers to a system ability to handle rapidly increasing demand. This is another performance issue. 2. Integrity, security, and recovery. The database manages the rules that integrity, security, and recovery. The database manages the rules that help to ensure the integrity of the data. A database management system will also provide tools to handle access control and security, such as password protection, user authentication, and access control. Number 3, documentation. Even a small startup company will need a database with dozens of tables and many complex relations. A database model can Even a small startup company will need a database with dozens of tables and many complex relationships. The data model can be documents using a database scheme, which graphically shows the tables, attributes, keys, and logical relationships. The data dictionary should contain details of each field, including descriptions, written language users can easily understand in the context of the business.
Talking about data warehouses and big data. The data warehouse is a central data repository containing information drawn from multiple sources that can be used for analysis, intelligence gathering, and strategic planning. A critical internal source of data for the warehouse is operational data from the company's own system, for example, customer records, assets and liabilities, etc. The external sources of information can add to the value of the warehouse. This includes sensors data, competition information, GPS or mapping coordinates. What is a big data? A big data are collections of data that are so enormous in size, so varied in content, and so fast to accumulate that they are difficult to store and analyze using the traditional approach. So how to build a data? Building a data involves, for us to build a data, we have to use the common strategy for drawing information from multiple sources, which is called the extract, transform, and load. The first step is to extract data from its home database, and then transform and cleanse it so that it adheres to communication data definition. So then we'll load it to another database, to another database. Working on the human elements, like how human elements interact with information system. First, the shadow system. Shadow system are smaller database developed by individuals outside of the IT department that focus on their creator specific information requirements. The next is data steward. Data steward is a combination of watchdog and a bridge builder, a person who ensures that people adhere to the definitions for master data in their organizational unit. The last but not the least is the master data management. This is an approach that addresses the underlying inconsistencies in the way employees use data by attempting to achieve consistent and uniform definitions for entities and their attributes across all business units.